Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Oh my goodness, I am so glad to be finally streaming again. This was a ordeal over the last day or so. Man, I tried to turn on this stream last night, and this was after a previous stream the night before that had worked great and it was perfectly fine. I tried to stream last night, and Streamlabs, which is what I use. A lot of people don't like Streamlabs as much, but I enjoy the user interface a whole lot. Streamlabs was not connecting to YouTube at all. I was getting like 96, 97, 98, 99% dropped frames. Like no frames were going in. There was no connection. No data was being streamed from Streamlabs to my YouTube account. And I knew it was not an internet problem because everything else on the internet still worked fine. It was just Streamlabs that was fucking up. So no idea what was going on. But after a while, it came back, like, and by after a while I mean like, you know, like 20 hours. Like finally came back like 20 hours later. And then, you know, it didn't have comments working at first. Now it has comments working. Now everything is going good. So we're looking real good. By the way, my name is Goodle. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm a sentient cup of noodles and a cup noodle fairy, whom, if you wish to hard enough, when you're the most hungry, a hot, steamy cup of noodles will appear on your counter of the perfect flavor that you want, because I'm the cup noodle fairy. I'm also an artist, and I draw D&D characters, and today we're drawing some buff ladies. We're drawing an Echo Fighter, an Echo Knight, whom, if you guys don't know, if you don't want to play D&D or aren't familiar with the Echo Knight, she is a warrior, a fighter, who is able to create a dark shadow copy of herself. She is able to form like a shadow copy. Imagine like Link and Dark Link. Just it's sort of like, just a dark copy that is able to move around and attack separately from her, like a mirror image. And she can teleport and swap between her and her echo's places at will and attack from both spots. And it's really cool. And of course, this character here is not an original character of my own, but is actually a character from someone on Reddit who we are going to read right now, the description that this person has for their character. So let's see the description for this character once again. Where is it? All right. By Teratius on Reddit, we have a description of the character. Quote, "There's the outgoing, bombastic female human echo night fighter." They're female, they're human, as opposed to other creatures like other fantasy races like elf or orc or dwarf or things like that. They're a human, and they're an echo knight subclass of fighter. She's practically got the build of He-Man, which I think is great. That's why she's really buff, because she's like He-Man in that she's not some picturesque scrawny woman warrior, but one that works hard on her body as much as she does her skill with weapons, and wears leather armor lined with furs to maintain a greater freedom of movement and provide warmth in the harsh cold, while using a halberd to control the battlefield. We're not going to be drawing the halberd right now. We're not going to be drawing her weapons or too much of her armors, but hair is of medium length, and clean but unkempt, looking as if she'd been taking a knife to it all her life. So sort of straight cut, kind of a Mulan after she sliced her hair with her sword kind of look. Skin shows scarring from many a haphazard adventure into combat. We can add some scars around her arms and face and stuff. She's got a broken nose, if you look closely enough. You'd have trouble telling her apart from a barbarian at first glance. She's regularly using her echo in a fit of drunkenness to teleport around the tavern, grabbing drinks, hanging from rafters as she chugs them, picking little fights with other tavern goers, and trying to swoon their women. Which is why we have our cute little nerdy girl right here, in between the two big buff ladies who are swooning her. She is trying to woo them, and they are swooning, trying to woo their women. But that is the drawing that we're doing tonight, and we have sort of our sketch layers here, and we need to, essentially make a little bit, clean up this line art a little bit. I'm okay with it looking like this as far as like a sketched line art goes. Like I would be willing to color this in right now and just like clean up a little bit of these jaggedy broken edges right there, especially since this one on the right is going to be the echo, the shadow. This, like some of these arm lines though, we don't want all those lines and all this random like scratchiness going on in there. Like, what is that? We need to clean up a little bit of the line art. It can still be like, and change the position because this is a very, very doodled hand. So we can clean up a little bit, and then I do want to color because I want to be able to see the colors. Blonde hair, blue top, and like scarred skin. It would be very, very helpful to have colors in order to see all of those. So that's what hopefully we'll be able to get through a bunch of it tonight. If not, then I have one other stream this weekend that I'm going to be doing to finish these ladies up if I don't finish them today. And that will probably be the end of the D&D drawing, D&D art streams for a little while. I want to get back to, I've been doing these for 2 or 3 months at this point, maybe a little bit longer because I took kind of a month break, of just D&D characters, and I've drawn some really cool characters, and I definitely want to do that again. But for the next couple of things that I'm going to draw after this drawing are probably going to be like VTubers and like fan art and stuff like that. Not so much character design work, maybe some animations here or there, but yeah, I want to draw some fan art of VTubers and game characters and stuff, and I also want to do original design, original characters. And like, this isn't an original character, this was created by Teratius on Reddit over here, but the look of it, like, this is me still trying to decide how to depict this coming up on my own, and like character design and stuff. I want to do like kind of half and half of those two things. I want to do a little bit of design, which I love designing. I don't like drawing, but I love design. I love thinking of designs, at least like conceptually. I don't really like the like actually putting it down on paper too much, but I want to do a little bit of both. A little bit of both would be fun. So we've been doing this for a while, and now it's time to get back to drawing like some fan art and stuff. So we still have our nice purple line here. We can make it a little bit bigger. As far as line art goes. And I kind of like thicker outlines. We only use these like on Krita. Like I don't have really a lot of options at the moment for different lines on Krita. I mostly just found like the couple that I like to use and have not really adjusted them too much, because Krita is it's open source, so you should be able to customize it very, very easily, or at least like have the ability to customize it like in a way that you want. But it is just so, you know, it feels clunky, it feels slapshod, you know, in a lot of ways, because since open source, everything is literally just tacked on by like in multiple different sources, multiple different people, in multiple different places, and it feels very directionless sometimes, where like the menus and things are designed in different ways than a lot of other things that I don't. Some of the things that I know how to do in other arts programs, I don't know how to do in Krita, and so it's just like, well, this drawing, I would be able to do this if I knew how it would actually work in Krita. Some things like animation not being very good on Krita too is like, this sucks. You can't group layers together into a single frame, which absolutely is horrendous. That's absolutely horrendous. But for the time being, let us just form a new line layer here. Let's give ourselves a nice, clean looking outline. I remember her face over here I wasn't totally thrilled with how it came out, but I don't think I can really spend too much time correcting it. I think I just have to kind of keep it as is and just be happy with it. Same thing with the hair. Like, I wasn't too happy with hair. I don't really want to be spending a whole bunch more time on there. All right, let's turn on line smoothing. Brush smoothing, stabilizer, turn 16. All right, now let's get into we can adjust some of this later on. We just want her big muscles out. We will probably have it more like that. That looks pretty good for some arm muscles, as they're just those little lines. And obviously the forearm muscles. Everyone loves forearm muscles. Gotta show those. Now let's make this a nice, even looking hand. That is not an even looking hand. Which parts are good, which parts are bad? The thumb is okay, as is. That this arm is a little big, but we can adjust that later. This one we want. Woot. How do we foreshorten fingers? Foreshortening fingers is kind of hard, especially when it's like this. Maybe we don't want it flat. Maybe we want it more curved. Would a curve like that work? Not quite. This finger needs to be less big. But we can redo it a little bit. I thought I was someone else who doesn't have a mustache. I do not know what you're talking about. I am nobody but myself. You must have me confused for a different cup of soup. Yes. I am Coupe Goodle. I am a cup of French onion soup, which I do not think that exists. But even if a cup of French onion soup is not a real thing, I am, how you say, magic, and can be anything that I desire. It is okay. This is very forgivable mistake on your part. You are a simple YouTube watcher, and it's very understandable if you get confused sometimes. I think this is good. I think I like this. This goes like this. This goes like that. And this goes like that. And it will be like this. Yes! It will be like this way. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, it looks like a hand. Well, more like a spider. Of course, my very real mustache. And my very real hat. This is a part of me because I am French. I was born with it. When you are born as a French person, they put a little beret on you and it attaches itself to your skin. They put a cigarette in your mouth, a beret on your head, and send you off into the world to bake bread. And do art. And cook food. You've always heard that it is famous. It is, of course, exactly what happens. All right. Now, how do I do this thing? The thing that I want to do. Perhaps I go like this. Oh no, perhaps I go more like this. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. This is not the way. Maybe perhaps like that. It should be flatter. A little flatter. More like that perhaps. that is a good pinky. Pinkies and thumbs are about the same size, so that is fine. We need to just adjust that finger. Alrighty. Alrighty then. All we need to adjust is that finger right there. That's not how a hand looks. That ain't a hand right there. Need to go like that for fingernail. Wanna get look like those real nice fingers. Oh, no wonder they're totally. Oh well, these are actually more upwards like that, like that. Nah, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Maybe a little bit lighter. Lighter is tighter. There we go. Maybe just a quick little draw on some fingers right there. We can put on the knuckles a bit if we want. We can put the knuckles back on like that. Have it sort of separated like that, but it's mostly these last two that are a little bit confusing for me. I could have them all sort of the way that they were before, like that. But I don't know. I don't know if that's the best. I don't know if that's exactly the best. Hands are fun, but they're tough. You never know how exactly they're gonna come out. That actually, you know what? I kind of like that ring finger like that. Let me redo the pinky and. Or maybe we'll be looking good. Actually, you know what? These fingers going just all perpendicular would probably look real nice. This one. Just all perpendicular. Here we go. Nope, doesn't look as nice as I thought. Let's just make these fingers a bit smaller here. Not quite like that. Maybe a bit more. Something like that right there. No. How the fuck does a hand look? I think we need the knuckles. Stand it up. Let's see right there. Alright, let me try a different shape than what I had in mind originally. That is something I could do like that. It does work. This one, the first one, Johnny Bravo style. I can see that. I can see exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it is definitely, they're definitely blocky. Like, they're definitely more square. You know, very square fingers kind of thing. Especially with little, like, fingernails on them. And then these are more like Mario gloves. This looks more like Master Hand, Crazy Hand kind of thing. That position is easier to draw. Slightly criminal. I was thinking that just this position, especially if flirty, if it's flirty like this, it's a little sexual. it's a little. This position with the two fingers on the table outstretched like that, I think that it's very sexual. And because of that, it works, but I don't know if it's right because it is suggestive. Yeah, and of course that might just be my mind, but I did see it after I drew it. It wasn't drawn for that, and I was like, I might want to keep it for that reason. I might want to get rid of it for that reason. Otherwise, it's a good shaped hand. It's a good shaped hand. It looks good. It looks like someone could lean on it, which is the point of that little part right there. And I could adjust it to fit this hand. To be pointed it out, yeah, and a lot of people wouldn't notice it. But that definitely, if someone was leaning like that in real life, there's some definite like subconscious body language going on. Versus this is very like strong, resolute, but actually not aggressive. This is actually not aggressive of a hand to have on this thing, because it is implying that like with all fingers down on the table, that finger isn't going to be moving that hand isn't going to be moving anytime soon. This is not a hand that is about to be reaching out to you. She is leaning with all of her fingers, all of her weight on that. That is the Chris Pratt of hands. Is the Chris Pratt of hands. Like this, but this hand here is not in, like when you have all of your weight on all of your fingers like that, flat, that you're not expecting to be moving that hand anytime soon. Versus a different position, something like this, you are expecting to move that hand somewhere. Like that is not a position you keep your hand in if you are expecting to be keeping like your hand there for a long time. And because of those two differences, like I kind of like this one better because it's still a lean, it's still flirtatious, and it's showing a different level of confidence. Say like, I'm just gonna be leaning here for a while. It's almost like, oh, I'm not going anywhere for a while. Like I'm here to talk to you for a while, and that's good for flirting. This one is more suggestive, but also because it's like you're going to be moving it in a suggestive way, that's a little creepier in a way if you do that while flirting. And so I don't really want to do that hand, even though it's drawn better than this one is right now. Planted, confident, non-offensive, like man, I bet Sprockets, could I say anything and could you relate it back to Chris Pratt? Could I tell you what I had for like lunch today and could you relate it back to Chris Pratt? Like, ah yes, pretzels, the Chris Pratt of snacks. Actually, yeah, I do want to fix this hand somehow. I do want to see what I can do with it. There we go. I just need to figure out what it is that I need to do with it. Just got him on the brain. Yeah. I don't know. This one, I feel like I should do the knuckles like that. I feel like I should include those. The thumb is fine right now, and I think the pinky and ring finger are fine at their sort of flatter, straighter angle right now. The pointer finger and middle finger are tougher at the moment, because I feel like they are not going to be totally flat. Or if they are totally flat, then they're just harder to angle. It's just a harder angle to work with, because you start getting, I don't know what kind of, how to describe that sort of drawing, except that it is, like Lehman's beard, or Lehman's mustache, in Garfield cartoons is literally what I think of when I see this, because I used to read Garfield comics when I was a kid. I had read every single Garfield book that had like been printed with all the different comic strips on it, up to number like 40, and that was after it had already been out for 15 to 20 years. Like started like mid 80s, and I was reading it like for 15 years and stuff. Zoidberg is a good one. It's not quite Zoidberg though. This specifically, that right there is Lehman from Garfield's mustache, who he was written out. He was John's friend. He got written out after like the first book or two, after the first couple of months or so. Zoidberg would be a little bit longer, more Cthulhu-like. That's Zoidberg. Zoidberg is more like how you would see Cthulhu type of faces sort of thing. And so that one, I don't want, if I do straight fingers for these hands, it to me feels like it's very Lehman's mustache, or just cartoony, and it loses the realism of the hand. That's possible. It's because the fingers are so much smaller than the thumb at the moment. And if I do this, something like that, I have a very thick outline right now. You just Googled that dude? Who, Lehman? Lyman? Lehman? I think it's pronounced Lehman. Let's see. Oh, this is a real tough one, this hand. These two fingers. Isn't it a funny mustache? It's drawn like it's his skin. There's no top line to it, It's not like a top line and then a mustache. It's just the bottom line, and so it's as if it's his skin, which is really weird. But I'll tell you what, it's definitely an 80s mustache. My dad had an 80s mustache that every guys in the 80s had mustaches. That was a goofy mouth first. Yeah, it's like a goofy weird multi-kitty mouth. There. Middle finger is the longest. Oh, ooh. That's close. That almost works. We almost got it. It's getting closer. This might be a good middle finger to go with these three. Yeah, he was John's best friend in early Garfield comics, and he got written out pretty quickly. I guess they just didn't really need him. It's probably based on Jim Davis's real life friend or something. Or maybe they just needed someone for John to talk to because so many other strips, John is just not talking to anyone except for Garfield. John just has nobody. Okay, maybe if I get rid of this knuckle here. Oh, it's not awful. It's not awful, but it's not great. This one hand is unfortunately causing me more problems than I had originally expected it to. And I don't want that. I don't want... I don't want to spend all day on a hand. That's not what I wanted to be doing today. I might just need to find... I'll just keep it at that for now. And that will just be what I do with it. I'm probably going to make this arm a little bit smaller, but it looks good for now. Like, it's a good shape. In fact, let's see what it looks like a little bit smaller. Already, we'll keep the hand that big. I'll make the arm a little bit smaller. Even just that much smaller, even just a tiny bit smaller. Is a noticeable difference to me. It's funny how different these two look to me, which is strange. You wouldn't assume that that is a big enough difference, but just that tiny little difference feels significant to me for some reason. Alright, we'll keep that as is like that. Now, let's also finally add our table. It'll be helpful to have a table here. Oops, that was a erase layer. Here. It looks straight. I guess I wasn't really doing it totally straight before. Oopsie. Oh, come on. That's terrible. Guess what? I'll have to move it with this. What the fuck? Oh, god damn. God damn critter. Alright, let's go down to about right there. No, a little bit more, maybe. Right there. Does work. Okay, fine. I will play by Critter's rules, even if they're dumb rules. Moving a thing, and then moving a thing again. When you undo it, it moves it to the original spot as opposed to the midway spot that you moved it to, which is annoying. Alright, that's fine right there. Alright, let me get a pretzel time. As we will probably draw her torso over here. There's probably audio hell. Let's see. We'll draw some bigger hips on her. Butt there. But she is. We do want to at least show that she's leaning in sort of the opposite direction. So let's erase this for now. That might be a little bit better. Yeah, that shows a little bit more of a lean, so we'll keep that. Now the opposite. Draw. Alright. This part here wouldn't go totally flat like that. Kind of go up like that. Yeah, that looks good. All right, now. Sort of right. So we could have bigger, have a couple different boob shapes for her. We could have bigger like that. We could have more smaller and a little bit more pointed. Muscular would have sort of a big top for pec muscles. Wouldn't be totally flat like that, but it would kind of be a little bit more like, yeah, a little bit like top heavier. I think we'll go with this first one style like that. Might adjust it a little bit. I think all of these generally need to be a little bit, lines a little bit smaller, just closer together. She is leaning, so it is probably going to be sort of at that angle. It's not far off from decent. It's not far off from good. Should be a little bit smaller than that, though. This line. To about right maybe. And this line should be, let's see. Actually, that might be pretty good, like that. It's a bit more bottom heavy, but the top one definitely feels like you want kind of top heavy for stronger pecs. But let's see if we can get this working as is here. Let's see if we can find a nice curvature that feels both strong. We want to like having the line be sort of top heavy like that. Similar to what we had before, where it is like that. Might not be bad. Let's see. And if it was here, it looks like it could work. We'll keep that for now, but we have the others in store. Yeah, that one. Ooh, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, but we'll keep that for now. And then those hips like that. She's leaning that way. I think I might want to redraw that. To that, the little like, yeah, the little hip angle, the very stark, like that is good for a lean, good for a hip lean. You probably aren't going to see it because her hand is going to be covering up a bit of that. But still, that's good for showing that lean as opposed to that, which is fine. That is a little bit more gestural. Like when you're drawing a cartoon drawing, I tend to want like body sizes to be generally proportional, except for maybe faces, you know, they might be exaggeratedly big, eyes being a little bit bigger than real life kind of thing. Heads might be a little bit bigger than real life. But sometimes for poses, you don't always want things to work totally according to physics. You don't always want it to be according to gravity, or like what it actually is angled at. Sometimes you need to trick the eye. Sometimes you need to do cartoonish things where it's like overextended or bent in a way at some angle to imply a motion or to imply a stance or a gesture or things. And I feel like that little hip, like little zigzag, kind of does that, where it sort of implies hips thrust out, even if it doesn't look like a realistic hip thrust. So we'll do there, and let's draw that other shoulder leading up to the neck, leading up to the head. For now, that's I like that as is. I like that as is there. We're probably not going to be seeing... Now, her head there would need to be in a different position based on where that neckline is. The neck would actually probably be like a little bit more like this. We'll keep both lines there, and we'll decide which one to use later. We can adjust the head later as we go. That is a good shape right there. Let's see, the hand a little bit to the behind, a little bit more backwards. Actually, it was good as is. It's good as is. The shadow, we don't actually really need to do too much changes because it's going to be a shadow. It's going to be a silhouette that we can have some of these lines be outlines, be like white outlines, but most of it is just going to be... Where is the shadow? Not there, not there. Where is Where's the shadow? Where did I have the shadow on? Oh, there it is. So most of these lines, we can just erase some of these and then, actually those are fine right there. We'll have a little bit of musculature on her. Not going to be having this collar here. She's not wearing a tank top. We should get rid of the neck muscles. Just have the head, collarbone. Get rid of that. Get rid of some of the... There. You just want a few, this like little triangle shape for the shoulders. That arm looks fine as is. Don't need this on the waist. And let's get rid of that little thing right there. So that can actually, you know what I should do? I'm going to copy this and put it onto a new layer so that I do not need to erase my original. Copy. And let's do up here, paste. Merge with layer below, there we go. And now we can get rid of that one. Cool. All right, now we can decide what else to keep on this one. We can get rid of that line there. There. Those lines there, that line there, line here, and there. Oh, reached the end of my first 45-minute ASMR video. Looping. So we'll keep that as is. Now let's see if it works out well. We will put a color layer here and let's label it. Color 1. Let's pick this dark black. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. We can just color this dark black in here. Add that and just color in on our outlines there. Woo. Upwards is a little bit easier than downwards, I feel like, to stay straight. Not quite, but... Get a rounder look to it. There we go. All right, here and there. There, this goes right up here. Let's get rid of those little lines right there. That little line right there. Let's see. Okay, let's actually do it as if it's on the table. Okay, this should be able to fill. Excellent. Now this is a full, we can adjust this color later. We can do it all at once, which is going to be nice. We just need that filled. These little outlines. This often happens on a roster program. Roster meaning it like goes, it's like made of pixels. Procreate, create a roster program, so they sometimes get this thing where the pixels don't fill in perfectly. I can't remember what the opposite of a roster program is. Vector program? I think it's vector or roster. But what we can do with these, with this full purple colored in, is we can go to our line layer, click a white, and alpha lock that, get a big airbrush, and check that shit out. Isn't that cool? Doesn't that look like a shadow? We could add more lines if we wanted to, but I kind of like the way that that looks. Let's try other colors. Oops, we gotta alpha lock this one too. Honestly, we could do a gradient. A gradient might look nice. Yeah, that's the idea of the echo, is it'll be like that. I kind of like some sort of gradient, maybe with a slight glow. I like that. I like the way it looks. I can delete one of those lines on the face. Swoop. Don't need that. this little thing. Honestly, don't need some of these lines there. That's fine. Okie dokie, what to work on next? I think her head, we'll check if we need any. Actually, you know what? Let me pull up. Let me pull up some inspiration here. Let me pull up, I wanted to do kind of like Korra's outfit. You see what I mean about like shoulderless? I might not do the sleeves, but I think the high neck would look good. Slight fur lining. This one is only like 207 pixels, no matter it. I like this one as opposed to her like season 1, season 2 one. This one is definitely. Although the, oh, actually, you know what? This season 1 is not bad. Let me copy this too. That one is not bad because it has the fur dangling down here and the wristbands. So that's not bad. Still shoulderless, still sort of high collared. Still generally blue with white around the armpits. Here's blue with white around the armpits. This one has the sort of, I guess this would be called like Chinese dress, like wrap like that. This one does not. This one is just I guess, a pull-on, a pullover. And here we get. You don't really get it that much better. You don't really get. Don't need to see too much. So those can be some of our inspiration. I do like the high neck. We need to see how the face looks though. All right, face like that. Let me see if the head needs to be in any other sort of angle. Yeah, I do think the head needs to be a little bit more back like this. Should it be at a different angle? Ooh, leaning chin back is tough to get head size right on a big person. I think it should probably be smaller like that. I don't want her to... She's shrugging up her shoulders, so she shouldn't have too much of her neck visible. If she was like this, then how long would her neck be if she was slouching? If she's like that, then there's literally no neck. The lean stops making sense the more her head goes like that. I like that angle fine. The original angle might still be the best, actually. Yeah, this angle is probably the best actual size and shape, but this angle is the best for the flirtatiousness, so I'll have to just keep that angle. I don't think I need to adjust anything line-wise for now. I can just kind of copy and paste. Except I do want to draw it bigger, the line's a little bit thicker. So I guess I will draw over some of these. Those little lines are really good. Those little lines are really good for that haircut. I like the just straight lines, they're a little bit better. Nice, nice. Let's draw the outline of her face. Yeah, there's something wrong with that. I think it might be a little too wide. It seems actually fine as it was. Oh, actually, it wasn't the face that I was thinking of. It was this line right here. And I guess it was this line over here too. Let's make the face lines not so thick. Diamond-shaped face like that. Cheekbones being a little bit lower does help a whole lot. And I think this hairline needs to be a little bit more like that. That's probably a little bit better. Okay, so that looks nice. I like that. Let's get rid of a few of these lines. These are not going to be the scars. She'll have a few scars. good. All right. I need this little bit right there. All right, let's go with this little part up here. We don't need that little part right there. There. All right. Good, that looks much better. And the parts that are out of the line here are that little thing there, this bit here. Right there. And the same little spots right here. Alright, there. This and that little bit right there we can get rid of. Good. All right, yeah, out with that. In with a new head. Oh, that looks good. I like the look of that now. These are all fine. I think those work as is. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. I am for once satisfied with this face as it looks. Ooh, that face was an endeavor. Okay, let's see. 3:15. And we've got about 20 minutes left on our thing here. I suppose next should be just getting our nerdy girl down well, and then moving on to the details of big lady over here after that. Satisfied with your face. You should. That's a pickup line for all the people out in the world. Feel free to use that when you are, seeing an attractive person at the bar. You go up to them and just be like, hey, I just want you to know I'm satisfied with your face. And then after you dry the drink that gets splashed on you off of your body, they will, they'll be leaving that bar like, I mean, well, at least my face was satisfactory. Like, they'll be a confidence booster. Like, you know what, you're not gonna get any numbers, but you'll have changed someone's night for the better. They're gonna remember that. And then when the next time they're having a bad day, they're gonna be like, well, at least my face was satisfying. They'll come around, they'll come around. Here's the thing, you know what I just realized? The difference in kind of how a native English speaker would react to the words I'm satisfied with your face versus your face makes me feel like your face gives me satisfaction are two very different vibes. Like, I'm satisfied with your face for some reason makes it feel like it is the bare minimum of what is required, versus your face gives me satisfaction feels like fulfillment and pride, even though it's basically the same thing. So you just gotta make sure you use the word satisfaction instead of satisfied. This girl should have smaller outlines because she's meeker. All right, let's draw a nice. Some of this we can actually. No, we can't really use any of it. It's all very messy. Actually, you know what? Yeah, even smaller outlines. We'll go 10 on her. Maybe 11. 11 is nice. What's a vert? Is that virtual? Not sure. Alright, let's see here. What do you think vert girls is? Or is that VRT girls? I can't know. I think it's VIRT girls. Alright. Hide user on this channel. Report. There aren't any links or anything, so I'll just do commercial content or spam. I use on my channel. Alright, that looks good. There we go. Okay, let's get back to drawing. Enough of vert girls. You know, vert is the online handle of Jake Kaufman, the composer for Way Forward and Shovel Knight. So, free vert girls. Oh, hell yeah. Jake Kaufman is free Jake Kaufman girls? Are these Jake Kaufman fangirls or girl versions of Jake Kaufman? Let's not get carried away. We may need to investigate may need to investigate these vert girls. There we go. I'll tell you what. Actually, I think it was a very similar screen name to last time. What was it? No, this one, I think the last one was like Girl 69 so-and-so, and this one is just Girls 4. It's just just cycling through the different numbers of girls. We got 69 before we got 4. Lucky us. This is one of those times where I kind of want to just copy and mirror. No, actually, you know what? It's fine. It's fine as uneven like this. We need to adjust the angles of this slightly, though. this face is just a big dumb nerd. This face is everyone's self-insert in this little sandwich here. Will surely be satisfactory. Mom, how did you and Dad meet? Well, son, I told her face was satisfactory. And that bullshit worked? You better believe it, son. Hey, Mom? Yes, darling? What happened to your standards? Oh, honey, those died in college. You'll understand when you're older, honey. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna copy this ear. I like the shape of this ear. So I'm just gonna copy that. Copy and paste, and then flip it around, and then just put it right here. Sweet. Certainly doesn't look like it's in the right position, but faces are often not symmetrical anyway. It's closer to this side of the glasses than this side of the glasses. Also, let me tell you a story of being adequate. Hey, so, you know what? Sometimes as you get older and older and compromise more and more, adequate is sometimes enough. I mean, literally, that's what it means. It means it's enough. And sometimes enough is enough. And you don't need to look for more than enough. Enough is fine. A cup Goodle drawing, not something. Cup Goodle drawing, not something you see often. You know what? It might not be something that you see very often. But, well, I'll tell you what. Seeing a cup of noodles, you're not going to see too often. Seeing a cup Goodle drawing myself, you're actually going to see that quite often because I do a bunch of drawing streams every week. How are you tonight, Skeltella? Also, good name if that's a Zelda reference for like Skeltella. I love that. Sometimes enough is fine, like Chris Pratt. Okay, Sprockets, you need to lay off Chris Pratt. Yes, I am intentionally saying it that way. You need to lay off Chris Pratt for a sec. You brought it back, and you brought it back. I knew you would. I knew you wouldn't disappoint. I knew you'd be satisfactory. But just satisfactory. Hope your night is going good, Skeltella. I hope that it's a relaxing day. If you're probably in another country not celebrating Thanksgiving like I am, but if you are in America celebrating Thanksgiving, then I hope that you have a relaxed day. Let's see, that is the most I plan to accomplish for the next couple of days. What? Just doing nothing, relaxing day? Thank you for getting the reference, and I'm doing decent till now. I'm doing fantastic. Now I'm doing fantastic. Oh, that's beautiful. Of course I recognize the reference. I love Zelda. And I'm glad that you're doing fantastic now. Today we're drawing a couple of beefy warrior ladies. Is the theme of the drawing. And then this is the nerdy girl that they are flirting with on either side. We're drawing a D&D character from a person on Reddit and I went to Reddit and asked people to give me their D&D characters, description of their characters. Love Zelda, I love you. We're all love Zelda. We're in a big Zelda love pile. This is a very pro Zelda channel. And from people on Reddit, I got descriptions of their Dungeons and Dragons characters, and one of them was this Echo Fighter, this lady here who can create a shadow copy of herself. And the description was that she uses it just to kind of mess around in the bar and stuff, and she sends the shadow off to go like flirt with women and start bar fights and, you know, get drinks for her and stuff. And so because of that, I'm drawing this of both the warrior lady and her shadow, both flirting with the same nerdy girl. So she's our self-insert character for the night. This is who we wish we all were right now. But yeah. I'm glad that you feel free to come by and feel free to just, you know, chill out with us, just hang out, enjoy a comfy stream. It's a very relaxed sort of drawing atmosphere right now. And let me see, I think I have my music playing, yeah. If you have to get into D&D because you haven't had anyone to explain it or play it with me, but I'm interested. It's real hard to find a good group to play with. Like, getting into D&D to start is probably the hardest part, just because it's hard to find a group to play with. It's hard to find, you know, to really learn how to do it if you don't have much people. Generally, I think the way that most people do it now, and that I have done it a couple of times at this point, is, you know, going online to D&D Beyond or Reddit and, you know, looking at the forums looking for group people who are, you know, looking for players and stuff, seeing which groups are open to new players, because usually they'll put like, hey, new players are welcome, and trying to find a nice group or a nice DM with a nice campaign that not only is very like patient with new players. That's very important for a DM, to be very patient with new people and help teach them how to play the game, learn the ropes, that kind of thing, build their characters, but also just to have a group that you end up vibing well with. Because a lot of people, when they start playing, sometimes they don't find a good group at first. I had to go to 3 different groups, I think, until I found one that I liked to stay at. And I played at a lot of game shops that, you know, some tables were fine, some tables were less fine. And one table that I played at a game shop, we had sort of just a one-shot that we played together. Everyone at that table liked each other so much that we just decided to keep on showing up every week, and we eventually moved it over to one person's house, and we just kept on. We've been together for 3 years now, and it's great. And then some other ones, like a lot of other groups, if it's like a group of friends looking for a DM, and like, you know, sometimes they'll have to go through 2 or 3 different DMs as well. Like, oh, we're a group of friends, we get a DM in, oh, this DM is not good, or this DM makes jokes that we don't really think are funny, and I've just kind of made the group uncomfortable. And so, yeah, I've sometimes been like the 2nd or 3rd dungeon master that groups have brought in. This is really off topic, but I've never heard a cup of noodle with a beautiful voice like yours. Wake up, noodles don't speak. Thank you so much, Skeltella. That is a wonderful compliment, and I take it as such. And I thank you so much, because I mean, yeah, if you tell me, you know what? Tell you what, if you find another cup of noodles with any voice, whether it's good or bad, please let me know. Please let me know, because I want to meet them, because I'm the only cup of noodles I know who can talk. So if you ever encounter another one, please give them my number and find that. But also, I appreciate the compliment about the voice, because, you know, like, do you guys like the sound of your own voice? Skeltella and Sprockets, do you guys like the sound of your own voice? Most people don't like the sound of their own voice. That's just sort of a normal thing for most humans, I feel like, just not liking the sound of their voice. And that's fairly normal. It's not really anything to be like ashamed of or unusual in any way. That's just kind of when you hear your own voice, people tend to like cringe, you know? What a dumb bowl cut. I love this. And I used to hate the sound of my own voice as well. I think we feel like a lot of people who are like streamers and musicians and stuff, they still don't really like the sound of their own voice. They often don't watch their own thing, their own stuff. You don't really like my voice because I would either sound like a bird squeaking or a bane? Was that a typo, the last word, or did you mean to say a bane? Because I have kind of a, you guys can probably hear, I have kind of a high-pitched voice. It's not the highest pitch, but it is a slightly higher pitched voice for a guy. Go for, or like a literal like, oh, Gotham, that kind of thing. So that's funny. It's a bird squeaking or bane. Nothing in between, just those two. Okay, also this is off topic, but since you just brought up bane, you know what I think is one of the funniest things about that voice ever? So get this. Everyone knows the like famous meme-worthy Bane voice, right? That voice and that accent is Tom Hardy's attempt at doing a quote-unquote Caribbean accent. That is what Tom Hardy said that voice was. He said, oh, like I wanted to do justice to the character's Caribbean origins, and I wanted to do an accent that reflected that. That is Tom Hardy's Caribbean accent that he's doing. I think that's the funniest thing in the world. Every single time Tom Hardy gets hired for a role, he puts on like the wildest accent in the world. That is absolutely real. That is a quote by Tom Hardy. I'm going to Google that right now and read you the exact quote. Tom Hardy Caribbean voice. All right, let's find back in 2012. This is from shadowandact.com. But where is it was over at Entertainment Weekly. Is there a monthly voice? So, okay, here it is from Entertainment Weekly, reputable source. This is a interview with Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's Bane was another defining characteristic that perhaps you've heard about, or perhaps you've heard and didn't understand. A curiously accented voice that's further muffled by the rogue's high-tech muzzle. And here is a quote from Hardy. "It's a risk because we could be laughed at, or it could be very fresh and exciting," says Hardy, adding that the voice he developed was influenced by many factors, including a desire to honor the comic book character's brains and Caribbean heritage. The audience mustn't be too concerned about the mumbly voice, says Hardy. As the film progresses, I think you'll be able to tune to its setting. And so he spoke about wanting to have a voice that, you know, like harken back to the character's origins, his brains and his Caribbean heritage. And his attempt at doing that is so fucking funny to me, because people like Tom Hardy. I love Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy is a fun actor to have in your movie. He's always going to be doing something fun, and he's very watchable. Like when Tom Hardy is on screen, I want to be paying attention to Tom Hardy, whatever he's doing, whether it's because it's funny or because it's good acting. It doesn't really matter. I want to be watching Tom Hardy. You love him more just because of that? Yeah, it doesn't it just make you want to like even listen to it even more and just go like, no, you gotta be kidding me, Tom. Tom, please. No, you gotta be kidding me, Tom. And like every time you hire Tom Hardy, he's gonna be doing some wild, wacky voice. It's like he's been in so many movies and only a couple of them does he just do like what you might consider a standard RP British accent. Like so many times he's either doing some sort of crazy accent, whether it's British or American or like Caribbean or whatever. Like he's doing some sort of crazy accent. And I love, or Australian even. And I love that that people keep hiring Tom for roles where he needs to do an accent, because you know he's gonna do something fucking funny. You know he's gonna do something fucking weird. Like that's also like the fact that he both voices he does in Venom are just the most cartoonish voices ever. Not only his Eddie Brock voice, but also his Venom voice. Like he does all of Venom's voice acting too. And both of those are just like somehow I have a feeling like those might not have even been like the director's choices to have Tom Hardy do both of those voices. They might have wanted him to like dial it back or be a little bit more serious, like, hey, this is an anti-hero thing. You need to be like, you know, intimidating or like, you know, likable. And he's like, hey, what you do? There's this guy over here, like, and he's like, Tom, can you turn it down to like 9? He's like, this is 9. What are you talking about? This? You want me to turn it up to 11? No, please, Tom. Like, it feels like it was just someone let Tom Hardy loose in a voice acting studio, in a voice acting stage, and just let him have the time of his life. And I appreciate that, because I have the time of my life when Tom Hardy has the time of his life. So yeah. This is Tom Hardy appreciation hours. And Tom will play some short Italian mob boss. That would be amazing. That would be so good. Didn't he say that he plays villains because heroes are boring? I could understand that. I mean, he's played a number of heroes before, but I mean, I certainly would feel the same way as an actor. I think villains would be more entertaining than playing heroes all the time. You're probably going to get more work if you are a good hero actor, but probably going to have more fun as a villain actor. Yeah. Now the one, why did I was talking about something, I can't remember what it was. Oh, I think we got on this because I was just bringing up voices. And ooh, you know what? Yeah, let me have this straight bang look here. Straight bang look. That's so fucking nerdy. God damn. But I need to do it. It's so fucking nerdy, but I need to do it. So I used to really not like the sound of my own voice. It's higher than I want it to be. I want it to be lower. And one of the things that I've noticed from listening to recordings of people, at least for my own voice, I think one of the reasons why people don't like listening to the sound of their own voice usually is because inside your head, when you talk and you feel the vibrations in your body and your throat and your head and the sound of your voice in your own head, it is always deeper and has a nice reverberation, like as if you're in like a bathroom, like it's, you know, kind of bouncing around inside of your skull, kind of echoing. It feels deeper, it feels more bombastic, it feels more dramatic. And then and that's because it's sort of your skull and your throat and your chest are kind of like echo chambers, and so it kind of just reverberates a little bit louder and deeper, and you feel the vibrations. And so you're like, oh, I got like a deep dragony voice, you know, I can do like a nice good villain dragony voice. But then you hear it on recording, and all of that reverberation and vibration and echo and deep bassiness inside, that had been inside, is gone, because that's not what other people are hearing. That's only what you have inside your own head. The effect of your own echo chamber of a body. And so not only do we sound different, but we sound higher. We sound less dramatic, less booming, less powerful. And especially with most voice recordings, it's going to probably pick up, especially if we're on like a phone or something, unless you get a really like high quality mic that can pick up a lot of different frequencies, you're probably going to only be getting some frequencies too. So it might actually be cutting out some of the bass or some of the treble or mid. And so because of that, like, everyone's voice sounds different in their head than it does on actual recordings. Your voice is not deep or high-pitched, just in between, so I just could be squealing or a Batman whenever I want. That's a range, though. If you can do those... You say whenever you want. If you can do that range on command, that is a lucky thing. That is a skill. That is a very, very... A lot of people want to be able to go down low or go up high or do something like that. And if you're able to do that like on command, then that's super good. Even if you're only able to do just those two, even if it's not like a full range and it's just those two. Crackles, but I could still do it. Crackling is, I mean, as long as it's not hurting your throat, then, I mean, that's fine. I've got permanent vocal fry in my voice. And that's because I didn't take care of it. That's because I didn't take care of my voice. That's why you hear this permanent vocal fry like that all over my voice. But there was a big change. You might have noticed that this whole time I have repeated, you know, these same couple of sentences. I keep on saying I used to dislike the sound of my voice. You know what changed for me? A single person in my D&D group just said unprovoked, I like the sound of your voice. And it was just a random comment one day, and I was just like, really? And they were just like, yeah, I like this. I like listening to it. You have a good voice. And I believed them. Like the not only was that a very like nice compliment to have, but also like I believed them. I didn't think that they were just like, you know, lying to make me feel better, because they just sort of said it randomly at one point. You know, it wasn't me going like, do you guys like the sound of my voice? And they go like, yeah, of course we do, hon. It was just one person just going like, you know what? I like the sound of your voice. I like listening to it. And so it was very, very, that one comment changed my life. Literally, it changed how I felt about my voice. It changed how I felt listening to it, because after that, when I've always liked talking, quite obviously. I haven't shut up yet. But after that comment, whenever I listened to my voice after that, whenever I listened to a recording or a song or just anything, a video, part of me would go like, I don't like the sound of my voice. But then another part of me would go, but someone does. A part of it, like, I would go like, I don't like the sound of my voice. It sounds weird to hear my voice. But then, like, it would immediately just answer like, but someone said they liked it. But someone said that it's a nice voice and that they like hearing it. And because of that, I started like listening to it and just going like, maybe it is a good voice. Maybe it's not bad. Maybe there's something to like here. And it really turned around my attitude. It really was like, all right, well, you know what? If people enjoy it, then maybe it actually is good. Maybe what I'm hearing actually is good. It made me feel much, much happier and much more comfortable with it. When speaking, I would be fast and it's more high pitch. I'm afraid, people would get annoyed with. So you're afraid people would get annoyed with you. If people get annoyed with a high-pitched voice, they're weak. If people get annoyed with a high-pitched voice, they're just weak. They're weaklings. And they can't handle you. You gotta get some stronger individuals in your life. That's how you test if people can become your friends. Be like, how weak are you? Does this high-pitched voice annoy you? All right, you're a weakling. Next. Survival of the fittest for friendship, baby. Just say next like you're on like some sort of reality TV show judging competition. And they're just like, sorry, I can't handle your voice, and be like, next. Don't need you. Weaklings. Puny ears. Weakling ears. There we go. Let's go. A nice thing like that, a nice hand like that, and a nice little hand like that. But yeah. And so that's it's like I really thank you for the usually try to slow down. It becomes really monotone. Sounds like I'm a dead inside. I have a friend like that. I actually have several friends like that who speak in a really monotone, almost emotionless, dead inside kind of voice. And it definitely was it's surprising, like, listening to them whenever they do something really silly. Like, if they'll play a character who's, like, very animated, and it's like, whoa, what happened to you? I thought you were... Or just, like, you know, learning their humor, because everything they say sounds sarcastic. And they just have to do it, even when they're being genuine, it sounds sarcastic. And they're like, yes, I know, it's just the way that I sound, okay? And it's like... and it's very... It did take some getting used to figure out where, like, to be able to read them. You know, it's harder to read that type of voice than it is a very animated voice. Like, my voice is very animated, and it's pretty easy to tell what emotion I'm feeling at any time. But it's harder to tell with those more monotone voices, like, you know, what emotion is a person feeling at one time. But as you get to know that person better, you start being able to read them better. And now, like, being able to read those friends much better, I love listening to their voices a whole lot too. Like, they are fun voices to listen to, and it makes, like, funny things so much funnier. It makes dramatic things so much more dramatic. Like, it is a boon, but a hidden one, like one that you wouldn't expect immediately, one that you kind of need to like unlock. You need to unlock the potential of that voice. And it's not the person speaking who has to do the work, it's the person listening who has to kind of like recognize and start to notice the, like, real joys of listening to that kind of voice. At this point, like, it's very fun listening to them talk because of that. I've unlocked the potential of listening to their voice. Their voice is now in their final forms. Oops, sorry about that. There we go. Yes, I still need to adjust the angle of this. My monotone voice sounds like I'm done with everyone. So I didn't get to read that, but I'm assuming that you just deleted that, so I won't read that. So let's see, Sprockets, you have a very dry monotone delivery a lot. Yeah, sure, like a lot of people have a dry monotone delivery. I know a lot of people typo. Okay. A lot of people have dry monotone. That's nothing to be ashamed of. People assume I'm always sarcastic. They think I'm like. Now, I will say, Sprockets, some of the stories that you've told on stream are legitimately hilarious. So they're not wrong about that. I, of course, am in the know that you never joke and are never sarcastic whatsoever. And so, I of course, don't worry, Sprockets, I will never treat you as funny. Don't worry. I promise I will never think you're funny. You have my word. You have my promise. I promise to you. I will never ever think that you're funny or sarcastic. Aren't I a great friend, a great person? Do love to ramble though. Hell yeah. Monotone ramble. We love to see it. Here we go. Yes. All right. This is a good angle so far. This, no, it's still not right there. Monotone voice sounds like I'm annoyed or aggravated, so basically when I speak in any tone, it's not enjoyable to hear. Well, it might, not enjoyable isn't really up to you now, is it, Skeltala? That's kind of up to other people, whether it's enjoyable for them. But I will say, like, I get what you're coming from. I'm not going to tell you that your voice, like, you need to feel good about your voice if you don't. Just that there is, like, the sound of voice and stuff. Some people, they might not understand what you're going for. Kind of like resting bitch face. Some people have resting bitch voice. You're like, no, I'm not being sarcastic. That's just my voice. I'm not being angry. That's literally just what my voice sounds like. It's like resting bitch voice. Let's just make it a little bit bigger here. This hand, once again, is giving me a little bit of trouble. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people have, a lot of people don't realize that their voices are fun to listen to. A lot of people's voices are very fun to listen, sorry about that, very fun to listen to. Let's kind of think about like streamers or VTubers that you would not consider to have like traditionally normal or pleasing sounding voices, but like a lot of them are really fun to listen to. Ah, I see. You know what? There's actually a couple of stand-up comedians that kind of build their career on that, where kind of like what you just said, you would tell a joke, but it sounds serious and just confuse people. They're like stand-up comedians who would just like super deadpan say something and like people aren't sure if it's a joke or not, and people aren't sure like whether or not to laugh, and it's like kind of confuses the audience. But as soon as you like get used to that person's delivery, you start realizing how like, you know, funny that is. Let's see, progress. Your brother always sounds annoyed, but I've been annoyed. It's you. You're the problem here. You're the cause of his voice. You're like, I mean, yeah, my brother always sounds like he's in pain. Now, I have been stabbing him for the last 12 years, so I guess that's, you know, I guess I can see where that's coming from. Which is particularly good for you as the person who has actually stabbed him before. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, I got a new chair today, you guys. I got a brand new computer chair, and it's much nicer. It's no longer falling apart like my old previous one. It would say some really serious things, all smiley, happy, sweet. Yeah, the old chair that I was sitting at before, like it was fine, but it has like, you know, like the faux leather on there, and when that stuff starts to get old and break down, it gets flaky, like it flakes off everywhere, and like the whole outer layer just kind of comes off and flakes like chair dandruff, like upholstery dandruff. And so it was starting to come apart, and it was never very comfortable. Like in the store when I was testing it, it was pretty comfortable, and then when I got it home, it was totally different, and I just never returned it. I finally got myself a new one. It's got some pros and cons. The pros of it are it's more comfortable than the last one. It's, you know, has a better back and neck. It leans back really nicely. It's got just enough room for my arms to be in between the armrests, which is how, when you're playing video games and you have armrests on like a computer chair, sometimes like you don't have enough room for your elbows sitting down in between. You either have to have your elbows up on the armrests or your elbows like down and kind of squashed into your body. And my old chair did not quite have enough room for the elbows. This one has slightly more room for the elbows. So those are the good pros, and it looks nice. It looks really nice. The cons are that it is sort of a matte black color. It's no longer like a sort of shinier fake leather. Actually, the old one no, I don't think it was real leather. But it's no longer sort of a shinier fake leather. It's now sort of a matte black. And as I've noticed, that makes your head grease shine on that very, 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 very strongly. Like the old one, you wouldn't notice if it got sweaty, or if your like grease from your hair kind of thing got on it. You wouldn't notice that at all. It doesn't leave like a spot or anything. But this shiny like black matte, or like, it's not really shiny, but it's like this black matte finish on this chair, you notice the instant there's like a drop of liquid on there, or if there's like an instant of like a tiny bit of grease on there. And so if the back of your head is resting against that, everyone's heads are greasy. Everyone's hair has grease on it, and it leaves like a gym style sweat like grease stain on the back that looks really fucking ugly. And so I might have to put like a cover or something on the back that so you don't notice my greasy ass fucking head every time I get up from my seat. My head's not greasy, I promise. It's just normal oil. Everyone's skin is normal oil, I swear. But the other con is that I think the angle of that my like lower back, that my like legs are sitting at, is slightly different. Like my lap and my butt is sitting at is slightly different. So I have felt a slight pain in my lower back. I don't think it is related to the actual shape of the chair, which I think is very good. I think it is related to the change in the chair. Like I am no longer sitting at the same angle that I was before, and so it's like my lower back is like, bent at a different angle, or an angle it's not used to. Like this one was other pro, it was pretty cheap for an office chair, and I did get a discount. Con, it might be slightly tilted just because of the construction. Drip towel over the back for the hair greasing. I didn't have a problem with that on any previous chairs, but this one is just very noticeable. It's just very visible. Okay, let's draw some braids on her. But yeah, so got a brand new computer chair, and it's no longer gonna squeak. Like that was another thing that on previous streams, my chair used to squeak a whole bunch, and now it will no longer. Let's do it a little bit more downwards. Let's do it. Let's do it a little bit more like this, and down, go. And go like that. You get obsessive about hair grease. As crazy as that may sound, I am paranoid my hair may somehow explode with oil at any time. Do you mean physically explode in fire, or do you mean it just gets super oily? Also have the same problem. Like which version of explode are we talking about? this and like that, this and like that. No fire, just explode. With all the oily hair. Yeah, I don't really have to deal with oily hair because, spoiler alert, I am fully shaved bald of a person. I shave my head completely bald with a razor. Hairless. Spick and clean. And so I don't usually have to deal with a lot of hair grease, but your skin naturally has oil on it anyway. And so there's not really a time your scalp is not going to be oily. Your scalp makes oil 24/7. And actually the more often you wash your hair, the more oil your scalp will be producing at a normal rate. Like a lot of people, you might have heard, like, you know, oh, wash your hair. It's good for your hair to be oily, but it gets annoying when I touch my hair and when I feel, yeah. People are just kind of greasy. People are just kind of greasy. It's to help protect them. Grease is protection. Like you might have heard plenty of people say, like, oh, you're only supposed to wash your hair like once every couple of days because that's healthy for it. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't heard that, but it's true. You're not supposed to wash your hair every day, or at least it's not healthiest to wash your hair every day. You can take a shower every day, that's perfectly fine, but wash your hair with like shampoo and stuff is not healthy to do that every single day. You want to keep some of the oils on your scalp and in your hair. That keeps your hair healthy. And also, if you are washing off that oil on your scalp constantly, like once or twice a day, then your scalp is just going to quicken its oil production because it's like, oh, I need, like, hey, we are losing all of our oil constantly. We need to make more oil to keep up with it. And so washing your hair like every single day actually makes your hair greasier in the long run because your scalp is going to be producing more grease more quickly to make up what it is losing. If you wash your hair every couple of days, every 2 or 3 or 4 days, then your scalp is going to start producing less and less oil over time because it doesn't need to. Like, it would take a while. It would take like a couple weeks or a couple months for the scalp to start like changing its behavior. But like, if it knows it doesn't need to be replacing oil constantly, your scalp is going to slow down its oil production. It's not just going to be just continuing to make grease if it doesn't need to. It's going to, like, you know, slow down its production a little bit. And so your hair will still get as greasy as it did before, but it'll take way longer. Like, it's no longer going to get greasy in a couple hours like it was doing before. It's going to take like a day or two to get greasy, like a lot of people. Yeah, I have, because I was losing my hair. The reason why I'm totally shaved bald is because I was losing my hair. And so I've done a lot of like, what is healthy for your hair sort of research. And that is a common thing that you'll see, especially a lot of women abide by, is you can take a shower every day if you want to clean your body off and smell nice, but you don't wash your hair every day. You wash your hair every 2 or 3 days kind of thing. And I'll tell you what, like both of my brothers, they showered every day or sometimes twice a day. They got some of the greasiest ass heads I've ever seen in my life. And my hair has gone through different stages where when I was washing my hair like every day, my hair was greasier at the end of the day. After I stopped doing that, I started washing my hair like every 3 days or so. Then it no longer gets as greasy as it does before. My hair is thinning and falling, so I've been washing hair less. Yeah, exactly. See, that's one of the ways to try and keep your hair for longer. You wash your hair less. Other advice, here's some extra advice for you because I've dealt with my hair thinning. And if you want some advice on how to, you know, help keep your hair long for a longer time, here, let me even like put it on screen like this. and type it. So, number, where'd it go? Number 1. Let me turn stabilizer off. Wash hair less often. Like maybe every 2 to 4 days. Number 2, blow dry with cold air. If you have a blow dryer with a cold air setting, with cold air or medium air rather than hot air, use towels and hot blow drying minimally. You can pat dry with a towel, that's fine, but the reason why, like, warm air, hot air, like, dries out your hair and it's gonna fall out easily. It's gonna become brittle if you use really, like, hot air on it. And towels are, of course, they're cloth. They're filled with little fibers, and those little fibers catch your hairs. They kind of grip onto your hairs as you are rubbing it. So it's very easy for towels to kind of pull out some hair. But so if you can like pat dry a little bit your head just very, very lightly, and don't try to like, scrape with a towel. And but if you have a blow dryer with a cold air setting, and those only cost like, you can get something for like $20 kind of thing. Saving lives, yeah, believe me, this is something that I have dealt with. Blow dryer with cold air if possible. Number 3, you can wash head with colder water rather than hotter water. You can, of course, still shower the rest of your body with, warm water if you want. But if you are washing your hair, like, turn the temperature down a little bit, because warm water opens up your pores of your skin, including the hair follicles. It makes your skin much softer. It's easier for things to come in and out of your pores, in and out of your hair follicles. So it's very easy for you to lose hair, for your hair to fall out in very, very warm water. Wash daily just because I live in the southern US and it's sweat down. Yeah, that makes sense. Started just to pat hair instead of just using rough to dry it. Yeah, exactly. So you might have heard of some of these things. And so washing your head with a little bit of colder water, or if you can't stand the cold water, some middle temperature water, and then just a quick like blast of cold at the very end. If you're able to just kind of like right as you're leaving the shower, just kind of turn it down to cold and just douse your head just really quickly, get that nice little refreshing, and then turn off, like that can be fine too. Number 4, of course, stop touching your hair. Stop touching or scratching your hair throughout the day. Just let it be. Just let it be. Stop running your hands through it. Stop scratching your head constantly. Stop pulling on your hair, doing stuff. Do follow the rest of your advice, sure. I mean, you don't need to do literally all of them, but every extra thing you do can help keep your hair a little bit longer. Came for the art and got life advice. That's what I hope this channel is. And 5, of course, like, stop touching your hair can kind of be like stop brushing. 4.5 is also like and brushing and combing very, very lightly. Try and find something that you don't need to comb or brush too much. Obviously, if you have really curly hair that gets tangled a whole bunch, this is really hard, because boy does brushing and combing pull out a whole bunch of hair. And if you tend to get tangles, that's hard. So you might need to switch up your hairstyle. Keep your hair out of your face. They shouldn't be training grease. You know what? That's a decent one. I'll put that on here as well. Keep hair out of dirty face area. Sure, if you happen to have a really greasy face too, then yeah, keep hair out of that. So all of these are really useful tips for, having your hair last longer in your life. But like we have some tips here, but there's also some things like a lot of people deal with hair loss, and it kind of stinks because your look is changing in a way that you don't want it to. I will tell you this though, there are 3 different methods. Like, you know, you might be looking into like medicines. You probably have heard of a bunch of like, you know, Rogaine creams and medicines and stuff. Virtual hug for me. I accept this. Hold on. Of course I accept this virtual hug. Let's all just bring this noodle in and hug. Look at that. Look at that. This is a very nice tight hug. Aw, look at that. Now, you might, if hair loss is a, you know, issue, and you're just like, well, there's like medicines and creams and stuff that you can use, right? Well, I've looked into those too, and there are 3 different types of solutions. And I decided to do none of them. One is creams, hair creams. These are called topical creams because topical means it affects the part of the skin that you rub it on. It affects the location that you rub it on. And so it's creams that you rub, like Rogaine, I think it's Rogaine, that you rub on your scalp. And you do that every day and sometimes twice a day. Patrick Stewart is bald. That's it, exactly. That's why I chose to have my head completely shaved, because the bare skin look is actually pretty sexy. Like, it can be really sexy to have a totally shaved, like, bald head. A lot of people look really good with it. That's why I chose to do it after I started losing my hair. So topical creams, you have to use like 2 times per day, like in the morning and evening. They usually smell pretty bad. A lot of these topical creams, they smell bad and it's noticeable. And it is expensive to have to buy bottles. You're doing it twice a day, like, you know, every single day. It's pretty expensive to have to keep on buying bottles. You know, maybe like $50-$60 a month, which might not be too bad, but you know, some people don't want to spend hundreds of dollars a year just on creams. Expensive over the long run. They work. Yes, they do work. You do regrow hair with them, but the hair is not permanent. As soon as you stop using the topical cream, all the hair that grows with it is gonna fall out again. That's a thing they don't really tell you, is if you use like Rogaine or a cream to regrow hair, it will work. Like, it will regrow hair while you're using it. But if you stop using the creams at any point in your life, then over the next couple of weeks or months, all that hair is gonna fall out again. It didn't, like, you know, it wasn't like a permanent solution, but like while you were using it, it was working. And so you kind of, if you want to keep that hair, you have to use it for the rest of your life. And that is sort of unfortunate. You could use it while you are wanting, and like until you're kind of ready to let go, let go of your hair. But yeah, it's all of it falls out. All of it falls out after you stop. So that is an unfortunate thing about the creams. They do work, but you have to keep using them, and it's a little annoying. They usually have a pretty noticeable smell. Now, the other 2 solutions, which I'm going to talk about too, the other 2 solutions are hair plugs and medicines. Bald with a beard is the strongest look that has ever been seen. That's what I am. I don't have a full beard, unfortunately, but I do have a goatee. It works. I wish I had a full Kratos beard, but I can at least have bald with a goatee, which is still fine. That's still a look. Yeah, I can't wait. I want to have a full goatee. Now, the second one is hair plugs. Hair plugs, which is surgery that you get. And that is... Can't have facial hair? Hey, I know that feeling because I couldn't have facial hair for a long time. And like I was thankful that it started growing in, but I still don't even have very much. I have enough to kind of work with, but man, I feel you there. It's rough. It's rough if you want facial hair and you can't grow it, and there's just no option for. Like, that's just... It feels similar to like just wishing you were taller or wishing your voice sounded different. It's just like, well, there's nothing I can really do about this now, is there? I just wish my body was a little different than it was. I mean, I suppose you could, like, you know, take testosterone, but taking hormones is not recommended for a without like a medical professional, mostly because hair stuff is related to testosterone as well. So hair plugs, surgery. Gotta work with what you have sometimes, yeah. Like, there's certainly helpful reasons for taking hormones for other things, but not just if you want, like, facial hair. Not just if you want to prevent hair loss. That is not a big enough reason. That is not... There's so many possible side effects for things that you want to save it for the important reasons to take. You want to save it for the people who need to change a lot. So, hair plugs or surgery. So, the back of your heads. The back of your head. That is not a good head like that. Most male pattern baldness, it's called that because it's more common in men than it is women. You get that ring around the back, you know? And you get that because your hair up here falls out. Is very easy to fall out due to testosterone. Long red gold hair and a full red gold beard. Yeah, it's pretty glorious. That sounds Vikingly glorious. That sounds Vikingly glorious. And everyone in this room right now is going to be jealous of you, Sprockets. But it isn't really about having more testosterone or less testosterone. It's about the follicles on your head get affected. You braid your hair, you braid your beard. The follicles on your head get affected, like kind of turn off and die, due to testosterone. Like testosterone interacts with them and turns them off. And what like topical creams will do is will essentially just like turn off the testosterone in just right there. And so you like your testosterone is no longer like killing these cells, or just causing like, you know, the hair to fall out here. But since it's topical, it's just right on here and it's not affecting the rest of your body, which is why it's really useful for just growing hair right there. The hair on this side of your head, on the sides and back, is really resistant to the effects of testosterone. It doesn't fall out. Like testosterone doesn't make your hair around here fall out like it does there. And it's because of the way the follicles and the skin works. So what hair plugs does is it takes little strips of skin. This is gonna get, hey, trigger warning if you don't like the sound of like skin surgery and skin grafts and stuff, because that's what this is. What it does is they cut out a little strip of skin right here and slice open a little gash right there, and they move that little chunk of skin right up there. And they insert, swoop, like into a toaster, this little chunk of skin that has hair growing out of it. And this chunk of skin right here, this piece of bread essentially going into the toaster that is your scalp, it has the skin from the back of your head that doesn't get affected by testosterone. So they take this good surviving like piece of hair and put it on there, and they just do that in, you know, little strips at a time. And the goal, the hope of that is for that skin to, like, you know, bond well with all the rest of the skin around it, and for that hair to continue growing normally as the back of your head would, but now in a different spot. And the pros and cons of this, you've had a skin transplant, so it would probably feel kind of similar to that. You've had pretty good face scars. I told him it looked like an old Viking. Just compliment him. That is a pretty good compliment. If you ever had, yeah. But yeah, about like skin grafts or skin transplants or things like that, it kind of functions fairly similarly. Now, the pros of this is that it does work, pretty well. It does, like most people who get it, it works. The cons are that, one, super expensive. Like, these surgeries are cosmetic, so your insurance is probably not going to pay for them, not a whole lot, because insurance probably isn't going to, if you need medical insurance for it, if you're in like America and you need medical insurance for it, then it's probably not going to pay for a cosmetic thing like this. And it can be like, $10,000, $15,000 for a surgery like this. The other thing is that you don't need just one. They only do small strips at a time, like that. They don't do the full head at a time. And some hair falls out after surgery. Falls out after the surgery. Only some of the hair, like maybe like 25 to 75% of the hair. So it could be anywhere. It could be like a little bit of the hair or a lot of the hair is left afterwards. A bunch of the hair that they transplant here is still going to fall out. And if you want a full head of hair with this kind of surgery, you kind of need to go for like 3 or 4 surgeries. You need to get a second hair plug, a third hair plug, a fourth hair plug, because if a little bit falls out each time, you're not going to get a full head until you do it a couple of times. So that's a couple surgeries at once. But once you have it there, that hair is your naturally growing hair with your naturally, growing skin. And once the hair has stopped falling out, like the rest of the hair that stays there is going to continue growing like your real hair, and you will have permanently gotten a new head of hair that is resistant to effects of testosterone. So if you have the money, and that's the biggest thing, if you have the money for several different hair plug surgery, yeah, hair plug surgery works. That does legit work. Now, the last thing is medicines. Before they started the procedure, they marked everything out on my body with a Sharpie. Felt weird. Yeah, I've seen that kind of pre-surgery marking on Sharpie. So number 3 is medicines, is like pills that you take, and you will sometimes hear like keeps that you might hear on podcasts. Keeps is a hair loss, like pill that you take to prevent hair loss. And what these pills do is they are essentially just testosterone blockers. That are designed to do what Rogaine does, what the topical cream does, to just kind of rub it on and it just sort of stops the testosterone from affecting your scalp. This one is a pill to just kind of stop your testosterone from affecting your skin. Unfortunately, when it's a pill and you are digesting it, it's not localized to just your scalp. It's not localized to just the scalp. It's affecting your whole body. It affects your whole body. And blocking testosterone throughout your whole body, if your body is used to having testosterone, a lot of testosterone in it, that can cause a lot of weird changes in your body if you suddenly stop a hormone from affecting your body normally. Yeah. A lot of people who take pills for hair loss, there is, this is just from my own anecdotal research. I don't know the actual numbers, but a lot of people feel really bad side effects. Like, changing the amount of testosterone in your body can affect it. I'll tell you what, the pro is that it does work at regrowing hair. It does work at regrowing hair. And I know that this is very messy. regrowing hair. The cons are that it can affect a lot of things related to hormone levels. You can have mood swings. It can affect your moods and emotions. Mood and emotions. It can give you severe depression. It can give you cloudy thoughts, where you can't really think straight, or you're dizzy, or feel like muddled thoughts. It can severely impact your libido and erections. It can make you feel no sex drive if you have no testosterone, and it can make you go impotent if you if you have like very little sex drive, or very little sexual hormones kind of thing. And like all of these things it is impossible to predict who will get them, when they get them, how severe they get them, and a lot of them are permanent. A lot of people, and this is the anecdotal part. When I researched medications myself, and this is just based on reviews and forums, so just reviews and forums. This is not a scientific study, and I am not a doctor, so I cannot tell you that this is definitely going to happen. Check with your doctor or pharmacist or whatever for more information. This is just Google's anecdotal evidence. When I was looking up these medications for hair loss, these pills, on a lot of forums and a lot of reviews on different sites that sell them, a good half of the number of people on those sites, just on those sites, that left reviews felt some sort of effect. They felt some sort of like change in mood, or change in emotion, or change in thought process, or change in libido. And but nearly all of them said they regrew hair. Nearly all of them said they regrew hair, but a lot of them, like a good, like maybe third to a half of them, said they had some sort of side effects that they didn't want. And a lot of those side effects, I cannot tell you a number, but a lot of those side effects that people said, like, they continued even after they stopped taking the medication. Like, oh, they never got their libido back. The cloudy thoughts never went away. The depression never went away, kind of thing. That is fucking scary. That is so fucking scary to me. And so I do not recommend personally taking a hair loss pill whatsoever, because all it is just a hormone blocker. And if you're taking a pill to block your hormones, yeah, your hair is going to be one of the things that it affects, but it's also could possibly affect a whole bunch of other things that, like, don't be doing that shit. Either stick to the Rogaine, the topical cream, and just be happy using that for the rest of your life, or like shell out like $30,000 in like over the course of a couple years for a bunch of hair plug surgeries and be happy with that. Or the reason why I didn't choose any of them is because none of those seemed like good options. This one, I didn't want to be using Rogaine for the rest of my life. I didn't have the money for like a bunch of hair plug surgeries and didn't really want to try it. And I certainly wasn't going to take the risk of having a bunch of adverse side effects of a hormone blocker pill. And so I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just shaving my head and I'm seeing what looks like underneath. And I just had to embrace being bald. And I liked the shape of my head. I liked the way I looked. It worked out for me. I definitely recommend shaving your head completely if you know you're going to go bald and you're worried that you're not going to look sexy. I think the fully shaved head looks sexy. I think that a lot of people can look really good in it. And you know what? No one looks like weird in it. No one looks ugly in it. No one's looking at a totally bald person going like, oh God. But like, I think that at the very least you'll look like, you'll look interesting. Saw all of these but decided that I don't like any. Me too. And so you got the pros on all of them. Like, all of these work to regrow hair. And if that's all you care about, then all of them work. But I don't recommend that one just because I don't want anyone to face potentially those. You might get them, you might not. And this stuff, like, you know, like, it works, but it's just a little icky sometimes, and the surgery is just expensive. So sometimes you just gotta deal with having no hair. Sometimes you just gotta deal with your hair falling out and realize, you know what, it's better than any other option. And it sucks, and you kind of have to deal with the change. But you do whatever it takes to just feel comfortable with it. If that means a change in your look, if that means, like, you know, shaving your head totally, then you know what, you just take that as you go. And if you want, you could start with just using like a shaver, like an electric shaver, and just buzzing it really short. If you don't want to like take an actual razor with shaving cream to your head, you could just take an electric shaver and just buzz your whole head really short on like the lowest setting, and you know, see if that kind of looks good or if you kind of like the look of it. Your stare is still there. You're just trying to find ways to take care of hair better, and yeah, there's hair. Well, luckily, these steps can still help prolong your hair. If you do a bunch of these things, it can still help to, you know, prolong the amount of time that you have your hair. It's not going to stop your hair loss, but it is going to slow your hair loss. And instead of losing your hair like over the next 5 years, maybe it'll take 8 years or 10 years or something like that. And you'll be able to have your hair, like, you know, for longer. Honestly, this stuff I just kind of got tired of doing. I could have kept doing this. I did this for a couple of years. I did this for a good, like, 1 or 2, maybe even 3, like 1 or 2 years. I did all of these things. And it just kind of got bothersome to me. So I was like, you know what? Just fuck it. I'm tired of that. I just want to shave my head like once a week and just be done with that. So that's what I started doing. So that, let's see, how long did I rant about that for? Half an hour, 45 minutes? Probably about 45 I've done probably about 45 minutes of a baldness rant. Wasn't expecting that, but there was certainly a topic that, as you can tell, I was very, very passionate about. Like, my hair was an important thing in my life, and my lack of hair now is also an important thing in my life, and I definitely wanted to do it. Anytime I can tell people about this kind of stuff, I want to, because I want them to have the same tools that I had to make my decision. Let me just erase a bunch of this stuff. Interesting to hear. Favorite cup of noodle ever. Thank you so much. Saving lives out here. Yeah, I really hope that that this information was somewhat useful. And it's here on the VOD, just in case anyone ever needs to see it in the future. They can always bring this video back up. Let's just delete this. This is all, I didn't do it on a separate layer. This is all on my original drawing layer, so I need to cut it. I'm not going to be drawing for too much longer today. This kind of took up a lot of my drawing time, but that's okay. Whoop. That's okay. We can enjoy a little bit of drawing and a little bit of bald talk. Just a bald therapy session. Let's go. Hold on one second. I need to do that. There we go. Cut. Excellent. Okay, so we have our lady here. Echo. Let's just finish the little like torso and maybe a... Oh, you know what I should do? I should put a... I should do a little... how to do that one? What is a good look for it? I want to do maybe like some sort of frill or something on her. But it looks very clown-like if I do it like that, so maybe I should just keep it as is for now. And she will be... We'll just make sort of a straight torso as is, like this. yeah, we can just have sort of a straight torso down like that. And we're not going to see too much else of her because of the table down here, so that's all we really need. And yeah, so we probably need to change that arm angle, but it's fine for now. So, okay, we'll end here. This is definitely not a coincidence because I was eating cup noodles earlier thinking about my hair. My gosh, it is the fate of the world has brought us together. Has brought this little group of hair loss together of cup noodle. You know what? All right, here's the solution to hair loss, all right? You get some instant ramen, right? You boil that stuff until it's nice and soft. You don't break it up. No. You don't break it up. You keep it all as like tight little curly noodles. You just plop that shit right on your bald ass head, and now you got perfect little blonde curls. Season packet optional, but I'd recommend the pre-seasoning just in case, you know, you're walking by anyone, you want them smelling that delicious hair of yours. And they're like, oh, chicken flavor. Oh, very nice. And then you're gone, and they're just like, man, that guy had a beautiful head of curly blonde hair. It was dripping everywhere. It was dripping everywhere. And he smells like chicken, but honestly, I find both of those pretty good. I find both of those things pretty good. So this is all for today. I'm just going to leave that there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change the ends of those braids, and then that will be all for today. It needs to look fairly recognizable as like braid ends. So maybe like bigger. Whoop, whoop, swoop, swoop, whoop, 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 swoop, swoop. That maybe not. Maybe. No, not the one on the. No. Yunt. Like that? Like little. That works fine. These are like little the like Japanese hot dog tacos. That looks fine for them. Let me just adjust the angle here. You implant to your head. That is genius. Exactly. It's like the hair plug surgery, but with instant noodles. I tell you what, those aren't affected by testosterone. Okay, yeah, that works for now. I might want to change a thing or two later on. Well, I think I'll have one more drawing session this weekend, and then whatever I don't finish then, I'll just say I don't finish. Oh, no, wait, I was gonna do a thing. And so you guys will see me schedule another stream. I think it's gonna be like Saturday or Sunday morning, and that will be the last time we draw this picture. Then after that, I'm gonna be doing other stuff like fan art, maybe like some Vtuber fan art. Yeah, having this be one braid up is a little bit better. All right, that settles it. So let's fix these braids and then we will sign off. I'm not doing anything on Thanksgiving for today. Then I might be doing like super late night something like after Thanksgiving dinner, like, you know, the night after 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. I think I might be doing something then. There'll be a Pokemon Scarlet stream this Wednesday, or this Sunday. Yeah, I like the look of that extra braid taken out. Just that look right there. It is Thanksgiving. I'm gonna be going over to my brother's house. Now here's sort of another sort of funny thing. My brother and his wife are going through a divorce right now, and they were the hub household that whenever we had holidays and stuff, we would always go over to their house, and that's still the case. We're still going over to their house, but this is gonna be like, we all know this is gonna be the last Thanksgiving that they are together, and which means it's probably going to be the last Thanksgiving at their house. My brother has already bought a new house, and so I feel like it's gonna be a little strange, maybe a little awkward. But I did just see all of them this last weekend for my niece's birthday, and everyone was fairly normal, and everyone was getting along well. So it's probably not gonna be super awkward. Everyone's just gonna be like very, very civil to each other and kind of enjoying the food. Next year's probably gonna feel more strange because of that. So I'm at least glad to have a very civil family. They're not like arguing with each other a whole bunch. And they can get along well with each other if they need to. So that's nice. And good food. Well, decent food. It's not always like the best food, but it's home cooked food, and I don't get a whole lot of that. Like, I cook myself food, but never feels like home cooked food, because I just make the same like pastas and rice and stuff over and over again. Okay, we have mostly completed line art. It's not totally completed, but mostly completed line art. We have our shadow lady here. She can stay pretty much the same if we wanted her to. We have the little nerdy girl here and a little turtleneck. We have like big strong warrior lady there. And let me look up the let me look up when I am doing my other streams. I want to find out the exact day. So for this week, this is Thursday. I was going to be doing another drawing stream tomorrow night, but I might end up doing it on Saturday as well. Saturday instead. And then on Sunday, it looked like a Pokemon stream, so I might switch those around. Yeah. Not cup noodles, but still decent. It's still decent food. I mean, it's no top tier, high, like 3-star Michelin, 3 Michelin star chef cup noodles, but it's still, I guess it's still decent. So my original plan was to do another drawing stream tomorrow, and at the same time, and then hi Vinny, how's it going? And then a Pokemon Green, like the original Japanese Pokemon Green, on Sunday at 1 a.m. I'm gonna switch those around. So tomorrow, like after Thanksgiving dinner, at like 1 a.m. Pacific time, where I am, I'm gonna be doing a Pokemon Green stream. That's it's totally in Japanese, and I'll be playing that for a couple hours. And then on Sunday morning, I'm gonna be drawing some more, so I'm switching that around. So Vinny, you say, imagine taming a Tarrasque. I think it's possible. I think you could do it. Hey, if you can make friends with Godzilla, then you can tame a Tarrasque, right? Basically just Godzilla when you think about it. And Godzilla, he's cool. You can become friends with Godzilla as long as there's just other stuff for Godzilla to fight, and you don't need to like vaporize him with a water bomb. Y'all ever watched the original Godzilla? And I don't mean the original American version, I mean the original Japanese version that wasn't released in America until like 1990 or like 1998 or whatever it was. Because the original Godzilla had the original Japanese version, and then the edited American version. A lot of those old like Japanese movies in the 50s and 60s, they got edited American versions with like an American actor like spliced in to it. DM'd a party that tamed a Tarrasque? Holy shit! How did they manage that? First of all, the DM allowed that, which is surprising too. But the American version of Godzilla, the one that had a American actor, like they filmed entirely new scenes with an American actor and an English-speaking cast, and then spliced them together with scenes from the original Japanese version. And had a bunch of voiceovers for the original characters. That was the only version available in America to watch until like 40 or 50 years later, until like 1998 or like early 2000s or something. No one in America could watch the original Japanese Godzilla without like buying a Japanese VHS or DVD until 1996, 1998, sometime like that. And so, like a lot of people who grew up with Godzilla, like did not even see the real Godzilla. They didn't see the real one. They saw the American one. And so yeah, they're similar, you know, plot lines. It just focuses on different stuff, like different relationships and different discussions. But yeah, it just reminded me of that. Hey, you want to kill a Tarrasque? You just do it the same way that they killed the original Godzilla in the original version. Just have a scientist and have it just have an oxygen bomb that erases all the oxygen in water, killing literally all fish in the entire sea. And have him be so horrified with his own invention, like 10 times worse than an atom bomb kind of thing, that he gives his own life so that no one can use his research after he is gone, and it successfully vaporizes Godzilla into a skeleton. That's an ending to a movie, let me tell you right there. But also, like, that just reminded me, because Tarrasques, I always kind of relate to Godzilla as just this force of nature that just consumes and destroys and kind of thing. But you know what? How the hell did they tame a Tarrasque? How the hell did they manage to become friends? How do you train? You know, tame is one thing. Do you train a Tarrasque to sit and fetch and roll over? Also, like, I have so many questions about this that I would love for you to find out and come back on another stream and tell me the answers to, because the DM is probably not going to be giving the party a Tarrasque unless they're super high level. That's like, you know, high level D&D play. That's like level 19, 20 type of thing. Like a Tarrasque is like the strongest creature in D&D. And so they're not just throwing Tarrasque at them if they're like level 10, you know? Which means like the party might, if like my guesses are true, the party was probably getting that Tarrasque like thrown at them really late in the campaign, like really close to the ending. And after like taming it, maybe they didn't get a whole lot of campaign time to actually use it or hang out with it too much. Maybe it was just like, we tamed a Tarrasque, all right, game over. I want to know if they actually got to use it for anything, if they actually got to like have a bunch of game sessions where they're just adventurers going through a dungeon and they also have a Tarrasque pet. Or are they going into a town and talking to a king and they have a Tarrasque pet outside? I want to know if they actually did some like adventuring with it, or if it was just kind of like, we tamed a Tarrasque, the end. You know, I think it would be great to hear. But since we're probably not going to get all those answers tonight, it was great seeing you come in, Vinny Kitty. I know that you probably just woke up. And Skeletella, I'm so glad to have like, you know, had these chats with you. I'm glad you found us tonight. And like, if we see you again, excellent. Hope that's awesome. I hope that I get to see you again on the channel. Feel free to check out like some of the previous stuff on stream if you're interested in what kind of games and art some previous stuff is. And there's a link to my Twitter in the description if you want like weekly schedules. Like you know, I post my weekly schedules on what I'm going to be doing that week on there, and so you can get a feel for what kind of stuff we do on I do on the channel if you're interested in more stuff. But for now, I gotta get some food because it is 5:00 a.m. and I gotta eat something before I go to bed, because I'm going to bed and then waking up for Thanksgiving. So I will see you guys later. It was really nice talking to you guys tonight. Need to get into Indeed to Understand, I'll probably do that. Hey, you know what? Best of luck to you. If you need any advice on how to where to look to find groups and stuff, and you know, advice on getting started, like, I can definitely share some of that too. You know what? Let's rip the mustache off. Yeah. That hurt. Turns out I was just a regular cup of noodles underneath there after all, and I was not actually French. I'm sorry I lied to everyone. I was not actually French this whole time. Good night, everyone. Thanks for the chat and advice. See you later, Skel. Bye, Sprockets. Bye, Vinny. And good night to anyone who's watching the VOD. Hope you all have a lovely day. Happy Thanksgiving. You knew it. No, wait. It's still there, see? Don't worry about it. Nah, who am I kidding? Bye, guys.